Well, this has been a great evening for us. Thank you for giving us this gift, and what a wonderful and demanding program you've played tonight. We've enjoyed it immensely.
Well, we both discussed the program when we decided to play together, and we went back and forth, negotiated a little bit.
Yeah,
Emailing.
I would write, how about this piece, and she'd be like maybe, I don't think so, and then she'd be, how about the UNESCO Third Sonata, and then I looked at it and I said, looks really hard, which it is, and but it's been a fun struggle to work on it.
Oh, it was Tambourin Chinois by Kreisler. I would probably say Bach Goldberg variations. I like that. And
I would agree.
Stravinsky, Rite of Spring. Well, we were friends before we started working together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we thought, I play violin, he plays piano, so why don't we play together? And it worked out. We actually met last summer at the Ravinia Festival, and I don't think we played together last summer.
But we would, this was a chamber music festival in Chicago, and Rachel and I would sort of just read for fun music together. There was a library there. We'd check out different pieces and just play them through for fun, which is always a great source of pleasure to play with someone else. It's really rewarding.
Oh, yeah. Well, I go through periods where I have more time and less time, so obviously right now I am not back at school having a social life, but I mean, that's what the internet is for, so that's really great. But yeah, I mean, I try to enjoy myself as much as I can. Yeah, I get that all the time, actually. And that's really fun for me. Michael hasn't asked me to play any of his pieces yet. Actually, I think he has. But we haven't gotten to it yet.
You haven't gotten to it yet. But I'll force her at some point to learn learn something of mine. Yeah.
How long do I think about practicing? I've always said 4 hours a day, and that's been my standard answer for many years now. But I think nowadays it's more about, I think about what I want to get done when I'm practicing. So if there's a particular piece that I'm working on, then I say, maybe I'll work on this for an hour and try to get this goal done within the piece. And that's actually a lot harder than just doing 4 hours a day. So, and then we've rehearsed together for many hours in this program.
Yeah, it's one thing to practice, and it's another thing to rehearse with a chamber music collaborator, and often one has to do both on the same day, so it can be a lot of, for me, piano playing, or for Rachel, violin playing. It's a lot of stuff. But usually many hours is the answer to that question. So.
Well, practicing is a physical thing, so you never want to push yourself and go too far because you can actually injure yourself, and then you could find out that you have something that prevents you from playing for a long time. So you never, if something hurts, then you really need to take a break. Also making sure that you warm up properly before you start playing. But in my experience, I think that after 5 hours or something, your brain is just too tired, and anything you do after that won't be, optimal learning, and you won't retain it very well. So I think by that time your body's going to be tired. So I think that's kind of the max anyway. I try to get enough sleep, and other than that, I think that it's been difficult balancing it, but as long as I know exactly what I want to get done and I love doing the work all the time, then it just seems it seems busy, but it's not, a chore to do anything. So it does get crazy sometimes, but yeah,
Definitely.
doing work on planes and such.
Yeah, no, same for me. It's busy, but you have to just stay on top of everything you're doing. I make lists and then I check things off, and so that helps me. But certainly a lot of stuff. But
Okay, audience, lists and sleep, and you'll sound just like this.
I'm in a joint degree program between Harvard College and the New England Conservatory in Boston. So that's a 5-year program, and you get a BA or bachelor's from Harvard, and you get a master's in music from New England Conservatory, and I'm studying English at Harvard.
and I'm at the Juilliard School in New York, studying piano and composition.
Yeah, I studied with Dorothy Delay when I was 8. I think I played for her first when I was 7, and she passed away when I had just turned 13. So those were really important years for me, and that's kind of the reason why I moved to New York, because I was in Chicago and I played for her, and she said, "Oh, I think you should move to New York and study with me at Juilliard." So I studied with her for about 6 years, and she was just the most incredible lady. She was like my grandmother, and she was so personal. So she was more of a mentor and not just a teacher, but I think she was one of the sharpest people I've ever met, and I love her. I was 4 years old, so I think I was a few months after I turned 4.
Late bloomer, I think.
Yeah.
Was that the Suzuki Method?
Yeah, I actually grew up in Chicago, so they have a big Suzuki school there, and I started at Suzuki. They have a really good program, but I only stayed in it for less than a year, about a year, and then I went to a private teacher. Oh, I love talking about my violin. It's an Andrea Guarneri from 1660, and I just got it in November, and it's just on a loan to me, so I'm really in love with it right now. I love it, yeah.
What do you call it? You have a name for it?
I call him Andre, because his name is Andrea, but I have to make it personal.
Sort of modernize the name, too.
Yeah.
Well, occasionally I pick up Rachel's violin, and
You
we
did today, actually.
Was it today?
Yeah, you did.
That's right.
Andre.
Andre, I pick up Andre. We switch roles, and it really sounds awful. So the answer is no. But I did start on violin, and then I switched to piano when I was 6. So
When I was little, I wanted to play the piano, so I would go to the piano and try to play, and I was already playing violin at the time, though, and so my mom was like, maybe you should just play one instrument and try to focus on that. So I did, but I always wished that I could play more on the piano because it's such a useful skill, but I can't, unfortunately. My mother, when she was very little, used to sing, so she enjoyed doing that, but she was never professionally trained. She plays piano a little bit, and I think that's all. My dad tries to play guitar sometimes and sing along with it. My older brother went through a bunch of instruments. He started on cello when I was really young, so I think that's when I first saw a stringed instrument. And then he soon went to piano, and then he went to clarinet, and then he taught himself guitar, and lately he's got himself a bunch of turntables, and so he does that. And my little brother plays violin also.
Michael?
my family is completely unmusical, but they but they love listening Well, they actually told me to stop practicing when I was little because I think they got annoyed by it after a while. So it's good that I didn't play the drums or something because. But my brother played the saxophone a little bit. My mother studied piano a little bit as a child, but nothing too serious. Yeah.
Well, we loved your recital tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks
for coming to Kansas City.
Thank you.